No intro, straight onto the guide. The first difference between Platinum and Gold is the sheer amount of heal bots. Now this isn't exclusive to Gold and there are plenty of heal bots in Platinum, but I don't think that I've ever seen a single support in Gold at least attempt to try and get value out of their damage or utility options. Heroes where this occurs the most are with Ana, Moira, Baptiste and or Mercy not utilizing the damage boost enough. In order to give more insight on how this works and on how you can min-max your value and supports rather than fully sitting out on an autopilot throughout your game, here's Spilo giving an example of shoot healing on Baptiste, a key Baptiste fundamental.
The damage to healing ratio, right? Damage to healing. Min-maxing every single little bit of spam that we can possibly get out. When we see a Baptiste review and I see you Healbotting, there's no excuse for that. Like there's absolutely no excuse for that. Whether it's shooting Rhine Shield, whether it's pressuring a D.Va on an off angle, whether it's putting a little bit of pressure on a Lucio that's wall riding, I don't give a rip. But there has to be constant pressure put out at all points of time. Now, the key thing with BAP is knowing who to shoot and when to shoot. Because when you have a safe opportunity, that's when your opportunity to shoot is, right? When you don't have a safe opportunity or you have to walk into sniper LOS, if there's a Hanzo pressuring you, whatever, then that's where the pressure is not quite as necessary. Like right now, this is a perfect example of when you would not peak. This is when you do not put damage pressure out because your team isn't taking space and there's a risk of you getting one shot here or taking unnecessary damage. However, as you round the corner, that's when our shoot, heal, that's where the rhythm starts to kick in.
To build on this a bit further, you should be looking to play more aggressive angles in order to maximize the damage you deal, as ML7 explains here.
If the enemy has certain conditions in trying to kill you, like let's say the enemy has a Roadhog hook and nothing else that can deal with you at medium to long range, then if that condition is off, then you're free to damage. So, in this case, go aggressive, walk in front.
The second difference is the amount of face tanking I see in Gold, particularly from tank players. This just ends up giving the enemy team ult charge, and you'll likely end up wasting cooldowns so you could save for later in the fight. Good examples of this are with Reinhardt spiraling forward for no reason, or when Winston stand in front of a Reinhardt, which inevitably ends up getting them killed. Here's an example from Spilo about the first error being made and a few solutions you can do to fix it, as well as explaining why these solutions work, particularly with Winston on Navani first point defense.
If you can get behind safely or at an angle here, not directly in front of them, which splits the resources and allows your angles in front of them to have more value. The level 1 monkeys do this, right? Why is this a mistake? Well, 1, it's frontline. 2, my team can't see it. Level 2 monkey does this. Can my team see this kill box? Yes, team can see it, right? This is level 2, but why is it not the best? Yeah, you're shooting tanks. You're shooting tanks and you're frontlining. Your team can follow up, but you're still frontlining. This is level 3. And I'll do this all the time when I play monkey. I will drop off, I'll see Rhine Shield get to about there or here, and then jump on, and then I see, and it's all squishies. And then my angle is this way, their front line's looking that way, and I set up an angle here. Let them come out, and then you can get almost behind them here. Now you have to use jump, but that's okay, because you could jump, and then drop like this. But the other level 3 possibility, it's a little risky because you can get poked from point if they go point. Why is this level 3? Different angle, exactly. Now you might end up zapping a little bit of Rhine. That's not great, but you're on a good angle, you have good cover, and for them to get to you, they walk into open space where your team can spam them.
The third difference is the stark contrast in mechanical skill. Back in my Diamond and Platinum difference video, I mentioned the weird increase in mechanical skill between the two ranks, with Diamond players often having more mechanical skill than expected in exchange for game sense. And this is also true with Platinum and Gold players, but it's more so to do with Gold players having a lot less mechanical skill than expected, rather than Platinum players being cracked at their aim necessarily. Reflexes are also a notable difference between the two ranks, not necessarily awareness, since that's an issue for most ranks in the game, but just the ability to quickly react to what's going on around them. Of course, in order to fix this, doing tryhard FFA or warming up your aim with aim trainers such as Kovacs should help. In particular, doing modes which focus on your human reaction speed to help nurture your reflexes. The fourth difference is simply players not grouping up. In Platinum, players start to grasp the sense of engaging as 6, but it's very common to see players slowly trickle in and stagger themselves for even a couple of minutes, especially on 2 CP maps in Gold. Here's S3B breaking down the anatomy of a teamfight into 3 stages, which should help you understand not only why grouping up is so important, but the difference between engaging and simply setting up.
Now, the grouping phase is straightforward. This is the time spent waiting for your team to gather into a full 6. At the start of the game, this happens naturally, because you all spawn at the same time in the same place, but once fights begin and players start dying at different times, you start having to make sure that you can all find a place to group up safely. The initiation phase is the most broad category, but generally this is the time you spend after you've grouped up and you're looking for a window of opportunity to initiate a fight. Finally, we have the combat phase, where both teams use their abilities and weapons, brawl it out, and inevitably, one team comes out on top of the other. The first thing that a lot of you watching this video will comment on is probably the grouping phase, and how your teammates never group up. This is an incredibly common gripe amongst players in all ranks of ladder play, but particularly in the lower ranks, you will see people constantly trickle in and fail to gather together. As you progress through the ranks, you will generally see a natural progression of players starting to group up more.
However, with this being said, you don't always have to go back to the grouping up phase if you lose a teammate early on, which would be called a hard reset. Here's Jayne explaining the difference between a hard and soft reset, alongside explaining when and why to do either.
If you go back to the posture phase, this is a soft. If you go back to the start, which means this either happens because of a team kill on you, not them, or where the opponent would have an advantage in a posture phase, you don't want a soft. You want a hard reset if the opponent would have the advantage here. But the way you were, and especially on characters like Roadhog, these are characters that in the poking phase and the positioning phase, and this includes characters like Widowmaker and whatnot, can actually jump right to the killing and right to the winning. But a sustained engagement is not in your favor because you were 2 down. So in this circumstance, instead of like continuing to fight and try and fight at a disadvantage, you could reset while still applying pressure to the opponent during the posture phase, threaten with hooks, and potentially get DMAX or kills or whatnot with your hook. But you stayed fighting, you used your whole hog, and then you got killed. So not only did you stay engaged, but you wasted an ultimate, and now you're going to need a hard reset.
The last difference is just a one comp or one hero ideology. What I mean by this is basically that gold players often don't want to swap off their heroes that get countered, or that they're just not performing well on.
In gold, people don't switch. It felt a lot different when I was playing in gold. I don't want to say it wasn't competitive, because it was definitely competitive. It's just that people just didn't feel like they had to switch. And it wasn't even in the sense of they were throwing. I think they just felt like it was they were okay with staying on the hero because they think they're just going to kill the person that countered them next time. Like, they're like, okay, I'll just get back. I'll kill him. I got this. In Platinum, you start to see people consistently switching, and you see, okay, if someone's switching on the other side to counter me, I'll go ahead and switch.
A gold Roadhog could miss every hook he throws out, and he'll still play Hog for the rest of the round, and likely for the rest of his matches. Or alternatively, a Junkrat could get completely zoned out in value when the enemy team runs a pharmacy. Now, you could obviously still play these heroes even when you do get quote-unquote hard countered, but you'll just be forced to play a different playstyle. Referring back to my Junkrat example, I do go through more playstyles on Junkrat in my Junkrat guide here, which I'll link in the top right. It's also the debate between playing to improve versus playing to win. For example, if swapping off Zen to go Moira or Brig, heroes that are often more forgiving, then you're obviously not going to improve as Zen, but understanding why you're not improving on the hero you're playing is often the long-term solution to getting better at that hero. For instance, if you understand why you're not getting much done on Zen, whether it's your positioning or orb usage, you can use that information to improve your gameplay in the future, rather than insta-locking Zen every match, hoping you'll just win games. Well, that's the video. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if this video helped to raise your IQ, be sure to share it with your friends to also raise theirs. Until next time.